Welcome to Raaonline. Today we will discuss our new chapter summary, that is the excretory products and their elimination, right? As its name suggests, excretory products and their elimination, that means in that chapter we will discuss about the whole excretory system, which is made up of by you can see here in our body the arrangement of the excretory system, that is a pair of kidney, right? And at the top of kidney or head of kidney there are two glands are situated here, which are called the suprarenal gland, right? These are called the adrenal gland, or we can say that is the suprarenal gland. Clear? So simple, that is the portion from where the renal artery, renal veins exit and enter inside the kidney, and that particular portion is known as the renal hilus or hilus renalis, right? You can see here that is the red colored bean shaped kidney which is present in our body, right? And from this, that particular portion from that hilum, right, that ureter comes out of the kidney with the which carry the urine and stored in that urinary bladder, right? It is stored in that urinary bladder. Right? That is the urinary bladder, and that is the urethra, and that urethra opens outside of the body. And as we know that there is the difference between the male urethra and the female urethra, right? The length of the male urethra is approximately 20 centimeter, right? It may vary person to person, but it's a standard criteria, right? So why excretion is necessary? Excretory, through these excretory products or through that excretion, all the nitrogenous waste products and the metabolic waste products are eliminated from the body in the form of the sweat, in the form of the urine, in the form of the digestive waste products, right? As liver is also sometimes acts as a excretory organ other than the kidney. When we talk about the main excretory system or main excretory organ, that is kidney, right? But other than that, the excretory products and their elimination, liver excrete out the bilirubin, biliverdin, right? Liver excrete out the bilirubin and biliverdin. So through sweat, some amount of urea, acetic acid, or salt, right? All these are eliminated. Okay, so this is our excretory system by the different metabolic activities which run inside our body, right? All the excretory waste products like the urea, the uric acid, they are eliminated. Their excessive amount is eliminated through the urine or in the form of the excretory waste product, because if they are present in excess amount in our body, then it will harm to our body, right? It causes the diseases, right? And they can damage the engine of our body, that is the heart, right? Because blood circulation is totally depends upon the heart, that is the pumping machine of the body. Clear? So now come to the first question, right? In that first question, we will ask about this is given the human kidney structure, right? It is also given in the exact structure of the NCERT, right? That is the structure of the NCERT, which is given in page number 292, right? In which the length, the weight and the location of the human kidney is mentioned, right? So this is the exact line of NCERT. Each kidney of an adult human measures about 10 to 12 centimeter in length. 5 to 7 centimeter in width, 2 to 3 centimeter with thickness, right, and average weight is 120 to 170 gram, right, with its position, with the location. When we talk about the location, so location is T12 to L3, right, location is T12 to L3. Now when we see that structure of, you can see the kidney is divided into two portions when we talk about the internal structure, that is the renal cortex and renal medulla, right. In cortex region, the 1 centimeter, that region is the cortex region, you can see here, right, that cortex region which is just 1 centimeter, and that cortex is continued in the form of the medulla, right, and in the column of Bertini it enters in the, that is the renal column of Bertini, a capsule which covers outside of the kidney, that is called the renal fascia or renal capsule, right. See here, that is the structure that is called the calyx. These are the renal papillas, right? These are the renal papillas which opens into the calyx region. This is the renal artery, this is the renal vein, that is the renal pelvis, that broad funnel shaped, and that is the ureter, right? So this is the exact line of the NCERT. Now what will happen? When we talk about that, as we know that the one is the medullary pyramids, right, so its length, when we correlated with, we know that the length is 10 to 12 centimeters, so option A and option D is cancelled, right, because its length is not 2 to 3 centimeter, right. Now what will happen? Weight, now it is based upon, because when we see the location, so like locations are same, that means answer differs from the weight, right. So the weight of kidney is 120 to 170 gram, and when we see here, that is 70 to 80 gram, and that is 150 grams. So this is the correct answer of that question, right. This is the correct answer. As we know that, see here, these medullary pyramids open into the broad shape, that is the renal papilla, right. These are called the renal papilla. These renal papillas open into the minor calyces. These 2 to 3 minor calyces form these major calyx, and these major calyx form that broad funnel shape which is known as the pelvis. That pelvis opens into the hilum, right, and that hilum is the portion from where the blood vessels, nerves enters and exit from the kidney, right. Where that hilus continued in the form of the ureters, right, that hilus continued in the form of the ureters which carry the urine, clear, which carry the urine after the formation of the urine, right. Now when we talk about the kidney more, right, we know that kidney, actually that medical terminology for kidney is used, that is the Reen word is used for the kidney as a medical terminology. That's why the blood vessel is related with that. The 3 is the renal artery, the 4th is the renal vein, right, that is the renal pelvis, that 5th one is the renal pelvis. So Reen word is used for the kidney. Its shape is the bean shaped, dark reddish brown in appearance, right. Our kidney, when we talk about the humans, right, the human excretory system, so the humans kidney are the metanephric kidney, right, the humans kidney are the metanephric kidney, and they are the retroperitoneal organ. Why they are called the retroperitoneal organ? Because they are situated just behind the peritoneum and between the abdominal wall and behind the peritoneum, right. That means it is between the peritoneum and the abdominal wall, right. So that's why when the problem related with the kidney is here, for example, we will talk about the renal calculi, that is the kidney stone, right. So when the pain of kidney stone is radiated, the patient's hand is just like that on the back, right, on the back side at the region of T12 to L3, because they radiate, the pain is radiated from here and diagonally comes to towards in front of, because the position of the ureters are just in front, clear. So that's why these are called, the kidneys are called the retroperitoneal organ. Now come to the second question. Before the second question, we have to discuss some more things about the excretory system, that is the homeostasis, right? Why there is necessity for the homeostasis? What is the meaning of that homeostasis? That is the maintenance of the internal environment constant, right? Maintenance of the internal environment constant, it is called the homeostasis. And to maintain the homeostasis, we have to go for the osmoregulation, right? The process of osmoregulation is done by the epithelial tissue. That's why it is also known as the osmoregulatory tissue, right? Now that osmoregulation is divided into two parts, right? First one is the, on the basis of that, we classify the animals in two categories. First one is the osmoconformers, second is the osmoregulators, right? The osmoconformers are the animals who can change their osmolarity of the body fluids according to the medium in which they live, right? But the osmoregulators, they cannot change the body fluids osmolarity. They do not change the body fluids osmolarity. They maintain their body fluids osmolarity, right? So simply, the osmoconformers are the all marine invertebrates, examples some freshwater invertebrates, and there is exceptional cases invertebrates, that is hagfish, shark and ray fish, right? That is hagfish, shark and ray fish, which perform the osmoregulation, right? And when we talk about the osmoregulators, all the vertebrates are there except the hagfish, shark and ray fish. Clear? So most of the most of all the vertebrates here, right? Now, as we know that kidney is the excretory structure, right? Kidney is the excretory organ in the mammals, right? So there due to the biodiversity, or we can say according to the evolutionary history, right? All the organisms have their own excretory organs according to their requirement, right? So firstly comes with the protozoan phylum, right? Excretory organs. When we start from protozoa, and you know that in protozoa, that is the unicellular eukaryotic animals, right? The protozoans are the unicellular eukaryotic animals, and the amoeba is the example, amoeba, paramecium, all these belongs to that phylum, protozoa, right? Actually, in protozoans, the excretory organ is the plasma membrane, right? Excretory organ is the plasma membrane. They excrete through the plasma membrane. Clear? They excrete through the plasma membrane. Second is the platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, that is plate-like helminths, that is flatworms, comes under that phylum, right? And the excretory organ is the flame cells. Excretory organ is the flame cells, or which is also known as the protonephridia. It is the exact line of the NCERT, right? Protonephridia, and which is also called the solenocytes, right? In NCERT only these two names are given. This is not given, but protonephridia is also known as the solenocytes, right? When we talk about the next one, that is the Esclemanthes, which is also known as the nematohelminthes, right? For their excretion, they have the rennet cells, which are H-shaped or the butterfly shaped, right, which are the S-shaped or the butterfly shaped. The next one is the, after the Aschelminthus come to the annelids. In Annelida, nephridia is the excretory organ, right? In Annelida, nephridia is the excretory organ. Next to the, come to the next, that is the arthropoda. In NCERT only, that platyhelminthes, annelida, arthropods, excretory organs are given, right? But rest of the are the question, that's why I'll teach you that, right? So arthropoda, we know that in arthropoda there are major three classes, right, which is important for the examination point of view, that is the arachnida, and the arachnida excretory organ is the coxal gland, right? In crustacea, the green gland, or which is also known as the antennal gland, right? And the third and the largest class of arthropoda, that is insecta, Malpighian, tubules, right? So these are the excretory organs, right? When we talk about the molluscans, so in molluscans the metanephridia is the metanephridia, or which is also known as the Caber's organ or organ of Bojanus, right? Molluscans, metanephridia, which is also known as the Caber's organs or organ of the Bojanus. Same as then in Echinodermata, tube feeds are used for the excretion as well, right? So these are the type of the excretory organs which are also given in NCERT, just, and in NCERT these are mentioned, right? Only these are mentioned in NCERT. Now come to the next question, that is second question, right? Dash invaginates deep in between dash to form the renal, from the column of Bertini. See here, as we know that first one is the medullary pyramid, second is the calyx, third is the renal artery, fourth one is the renal vein, fifth is the renal pelvis, sixth is the ureters, right? Ninth is the renal capsule or the renal fascia. Eighth one is the cortex, and seventh one is the column of Bertini, that renal column of Bertini, right? What will happen here actually? You can see this is the exact line of NCERT which is given in page number 292. The cortex extends in between the medullary pyramids, right? In between the medullary pyramids as renal columns, right? As renal columns, which are called the column of Bertini. And same that, just modification in some words, we can frame that question, right? We frame that question in which we say that dash invaginates or extends, both represents same thing, right? So here in that particular question, right, they represent same thing. So here that invaginates deep in between, the cortex invaginates deep in between the medullary pyramids. So here 8 and 1, right? So the correct answer is the Bombay, right? So by the use of, you can see here how we describe the NCERT, or by the line of NCERT, how many questions we can frame, right? Now come to here, as we know that this is the kidney. When we talk about the internal structure of kidney, right, it is divided into two parts, that is the cortex and the medulla. In cortex region, that portion is the cortex which is just 1 centimeter diameter, and that is the medulla. And as we know that in kidney, right, number of nephrons are there, right, number of nephrons, each kidney has approximately 1 million, right, each kidney has approximately 1 million 1 million complex tubular structure, which is called the nephrons, right, which is called the nephrons, which are the functional unit. This is the exact line of NCERT which is given in page number 292 in second paragraph, right. Second paragraph, first 2-3 lines is there. So now what will happen? The question is, what is nephron? The arrangement of nephron is in cortex and medulla, both regions, right. So nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney, right. Nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney, right. Why structural? We know that each kidney has 1 million complex structure, tubular structure, which is called the nephron. That's why we say that the structural unit. And why it is called functional? Because the function of kidney is to eliminate the excretory waste product, and the nephron helps in the formation of the urine, right. That's why it is called the functional unit, right. Now what will happen? Actually, the function of nephron is, the main function or chief function of the nephron is to regulate the concentration of water and soluble substances, right. Like the sodium salts, by filtering the blood, reabsorbing what is needed and which is not needed for our body, they eliminate or they excrete these products with the urine, right, in the form of the urine. So this is the function of the nephron. When we talk about the structure of nephron is made up of two structures, that is Malpighian body and the renal tubules. Malpighian body, that is the combination of the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule, right, that is the combination of the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. And second one is the renal tubules, because this is the tubular portion. In that renal tubule is made up of the PCT, loop of Henle and DCT, right. That renal tubular portion is made up of the PCT, LOH and the DCT. Now what is that Malpighian body? Malpighian body is the combination of glomerulus. You can see here that tuft of capillaries, which is called the glomerulus, right. Tuft, that means the group of the blood capillaries, right. And that is the Bowman's capsule, which is a double walled cup like structure. That Bowman's capsule is the double walled cup like structure. So you can see when that arteriole, right, afferent arteriole which carry blood towards the capsule, and the arteriole which carry blood away from the capsule, it is called the efferent, which carry blood towards the capsule, it is called the afferent, right. A for afferent, A for ana, E for efferent, E for exit, that means jana, that is going, right. So simple, that carry the blood towards the Bowman's capsule, right. Here there is a filtration barrier, and that filtration barrier is made up of three structures. It is given in NCERT, right. First one is the glomerular blood capillaries, that is the endothelium of glomerulus, right, blood capillary. Second one is the basement membrane, and third one is the epithelium of the Bowman's capsule, which is known as the podocytes. So all these three structures form the filtration barrier. Now what will happen when blood comes with the afferent arteriole and it enters into the Bowman's capsule? So due to the blood hydrostatic pressure and the force, that blood filters through the filtration barrier and enters into the Bowman's space, that is called the Bowman's space, right. And now filtrate is that is called the glomerular filtrate, not the blood now, right. And the unfiltered blood passes through that efferent arteriole. Clear? So now what will happen? the question is asked the structure of the kidney which has only arterial blood. So the glomerulus has purely arterial supply or the purely arterial blood. You can see here because only artery enter in it and artery exit from that, right? So this is about the Malpighian body. Now what will happen? Come to the renal tubular portion. This is the PCT, renal tubules start from the PCT, and that PCT is proximal convoluted tubule. The full form of PCT is proximal convoluted tubule. Why it is called proximal convoluted? Proximal, that means nearest. Proximal, that means nearest, that is nearby the Bowman's capsule, na? That's what is called the proximal. Why it is called the convoluted? Because it is highly contorted, or we can say the coiled structure, right? We can say the highly coiled structure. So you can assume that, you think about it, that kidney is just 10 to 12 centimeter and 1 lakh nephron is present in each kidney. So these nephrons, the length of nephron is how much? These are highly coiled in structure, so they can arrange in that particular space, right? So that PCT has major significance or the major important role, because here the maximum reabsorption occur, tubular reabsorption occurs. 70 to 80% of electrolytes are reabsorbed here. So the total 99% of that filtrate is reabsorbed in whole renal tubular structure, right? That is PCT and DCT as well. So in PCT, reabsorption occur. When it goes forward, right, it continued as the loop of Henle, so it goes downward. That's why it is called the descending limb of LOH, right? This is called the hairpin band, and when it goes in that direction, this is called the ascending limb of LOH, and now that is DCT. And DCT opens into the collecting duct, right? DCT is opens into the collecting duct, and as we know that, remember one thing, the collecting duct is not considered as a part of the nephron, but it helps to maintain the concentration of the urine, right? Clear? So simply, this is the rough idea of the nephron structure, right? We will discuss it more further, right? Now come to the next question, that is, we already discussed it right now, right? So about dash nephrons together to form dash, which opens in dash before opening into dash, right? So we have to know all these structures about that. Is one is the medullary pyramids, right? So we know that how much about dash nephrons, that is approximately 1 million nephrons, right? That is approximately 1 million nephrons. Now see here, that is the difference, right? About dash nephrons together to form, when we see here, each kidney has approximately 1 million complex tubular, and in that question they marked the one that is just only one pyramid, that is one medullary pyramid. So in each kidney we have the 10 to 12 pyramids, right? In each kidney we have 10 to 12 pyramids. If we take minimum 10 pyramids, then what will happen? That means when 10 lakh nephron is present in each kidney, right, in one kidney, right, and that in each kidney 10 to 12 renal pyramids is there. So one pyramid can carry 1 lakh, right? Exactly. In one pyramid, medullary pyramid, it carry 1 lakh nephron, right? It carry 1 lakh nephron. So now, because it shows the single structure, that's why we cannot take as a whole, right? So that's why both of these options are Wrong. We cannot take here 1 million because it shows in 1 and 2. That is in 2, in that particular point is only 1 million nephrons is there. No, in whole kidney, na, right? So in 1, that is 1 lakh. Per pyramid 1 lakh nephron is there, right? So 1 lakh is present in, now there are 2 options in which answer is there, right? So 1 lakh that is present in 1, that is the medullary pyramid. Okay, together to form these together to form that opens in these medullary pyramids open into the renal papilla, and that renal papilla opens into the renal that calyx part, right? That calyx part. So directly here given the 6, which is the ureter, right, which is the ureter, and after that it opens into the before opening into the pelvis. No, that is wrong, right? So this option is also wrong. So what will happen? The approximately 1 lakh nephrons together to form a medullary pyramid, right? That is the complex structure which open to form a calyx, right? To form a calyx, that is 2 according to that question, because intermediate steps are not given in that, right? In that particular. So simple. And after that what will happen? That calyx opens in before opening into that calyx opens into that particular part, that is the ureter, before opening into the another structure, right? So this is the answer is the C, right?